Hello again from Danube Competence Center and our podcast, Danube Bridges. I'm happy and pleased to welcome today my guests who are very interesting and special because they are dealing with a challenging topic, and this is nature and education. So the title of our today's episode is Nature and Education. We have today, I'll start from the north, Stefania Blutaumüller. Am I correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's Blutaumüller. It's very difficult to pronounce.
Sorry. Yes. I'm always like this. Yeah. And she's from Nationalparks and from Austria. And I will ask you, after presenting the other guests, to introduce your work shortly. Then we have Uroš Brankovič from Kranj, Slovenia. He's Danube guide. And he represents the Center for Rural Development, right? Rural Tourism Development.
Sustainable, yeah.
Yes, okay. And we have Zdenka from Bački Monostor, Serbia. She's also Danube guide, and she's representing the civil association Podunav. And she will also have the chance to introduce their work. So, Steffi, let's start with you, please. Just tell us about the parks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gordana. Thank you also very much for inviting me to speak here today. Yes, my name is Stefanie Blutaumüller from Austria. I'm working for Nationalparks Austria. That's the association of all Austrian national parks. So our office is located in Ort an der Donau, which is very close to Vienna. And so we're somehow very closely connected to the national park and also get a better insight on the topics that really concern the national parks, because our main field of work is to find synergies and common challenges, but also opportunities for all the Austrian national parks. So we are working mainly in the field of environmental education, in communication, so meaning also marketing, public relations, and in science, joint scientific activities of the national parks. And I used to work for Danube Competence Center almost 10 years ago now. It's time ran so quickly. And after that, I was working for Danuparks, which is the network of protected areas along the Danube. So somehow my heart still belongs to the Danube, but now I'm also responsible for all Austria and the national parks. And the field of environmental education and tourism is still part of my work. Thank you.
And you are Secretary General. I forgot to.
Yes. I'm Secretary General of our association, and we have a very small team with 4 colleagues that are working mainly in the field of communication, environmental education and science. And we also have a small part of tourism in the association, and a lot of events and stuff like this. And our board of directors consists of the directors of the national parks. And we are also working quite closely with the ministry with the environmental ministry. Yes.
Okay, so your work is really matching our topic today, and I'm really looking forward to our discussion. And now, Uroš, tell me, what is your scope of work?
Well, first of all, hello, and we are very glad to be here today. especially because we are representative of one of the contributory rivers of Danube basin, so of Sava River in Slovenia. Our work is mainly focused on Gorinska region, which is the, let's say, alpine part of Slovenia, in northwestern part of Slovenia, and our Center for Sustainable Rural Development deals with many topics, but always for the last 20 years, the nature education and sustainable tourism was one of the main focuses, and one of the main areas was this part of River Sava, which we have here in Gorinska region, because it's really something wonderful. Not only that it has all this richness of nature, all kind of animal species and plants, but also it has some special energy which attracts people. And in our center, we try on one hand to present people this richness and help them in some way to get to know it. And on the other hand, we try to, together with local communities, local people, to preserve this, because it is endangered by different impacts of modern economy, let's say so. And me as Danube guide, I work also as a guide already for 20 years. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy being in contact with people, with visitors, with local people, with people who come from other areas to Sava River. And my best moments at my work is when I'm in canoe and with a group of 20 people, and we are visiting Sava River here in between city of Kranj and between hydropower plants in Mitić. And when we are visiting this, and when we are in the water and discovering and enjoying the nature and the water itself. So it's let's say it's not the work, it's also passion, yes,
and pleasure.
And pleasure, yes.
Okay, Uroš, I don't know about these two ladies, but I haven't been there, and I would be honored if you could invite us to come and visit you. I'm not sure that I would sit in the canoe, because this is indeed challenging, but I would love to come there. Anyway, can you imagine how polite I am? I'm inviting myself. Anyway. Now
you are invited already now, and
so
we don't say no as an answer.
Okay, thank you. Zdenka, come on. What can you say about Bački Monoštor and the area and your work and your association?
First of all, greetings from Bački Monoštor. As we like to say, the heart of the Special Nature Reserve, Gornje Podunavlje, which is situated on the, of course, Danube. Also, our work as NGO is orientated to also education, but also the protection and the promotion of the nature of Special Nature Reserve, and also cultural heritage, which is really rich here in Bački Monoštor. Is in one very small village, but so rich in the cultural heritage, and also with all the beauties that this Special Nature Reserve is giving us. The fact is that Special Nature Reserve Gornje Podunavlje is the only one Europark in the whole Serbia, which gives very big importance for this protected area because of these sustainable practices of the tourism in this area. Also, Gornje Podunavlje is a part of UNESCO Biosphere Reserve called Bačko Podunavlje, situated in Serbia, and on the higher level, a part of UNESCO Biosphere Reserve Mura-Drava-Danube that includes 5 countries and has very big importance in the way of the chances for the local people which are living near to these 3 rivers. So our work is on the education, on the creation of the programs for the tourists, and also in the organization and of the different events which are all connected to nature and the culture in our area.
Thank you. I really love this part of the Danube because it so symbolically communicates the connection, the strength between different countries. And for instance, Bezdan, where you have Hungary and Croatia and Serbia and the locks that were designed by Eiffel Bureau in Paris. And this is so impressive. And on the other hand, in Bezdan, you have this workshop where they still weave on these old weavers' wooden machines, and they do this Damascus linen, and that's really impressive. I don't know really if they still exist, but this was something extraordinary. Anyway, thank you very much for this introduction. That really gives the picture of the activities on the Danube, let's say upper and mid Danube, and when we think about the nature and diversity of this nature, we first of all relate to like 16 national parks. Steffi, if I'm not correct, please correct me. This is the data that I found. But usually when we speak about the Danube, it is not the nature. It is usually cultural heritage. 4 capital cities of 4 different countries. It is usually culture, music, art, archaeology, festivals, and so on and so forth. Nature is something which is not, I think, so much exposed. And it is so diverse, starting from the Black Forest all the way to the Black Sea, to the Delta. And this is the uniqueness of this timeless river. And what do you think when we think about the role of the nature and education? What are your immediate thoughts? What do we have and what do we lack? Who's going to be the first? Come on, don't lose.
I can start. Yeah.
Okay.
I can say that the nature is one of 2 pillars of our ecotouristic offer. First of all, we understood that is a very big chance for local sustainable development to have this and to recognize this beautiful nature that we have. And also the second pillar is a culture. But we can say that this wildness that we have around our part of Danube, which is very wild, and not the river is not canalized. It is very freely flowing and giving us this richness in. So I can say that our community from the start starts to recognize this chance and this beauty and the value of the nature, which is really wild in this area. So we use it like a basis for the development of the eco and we can today say sustainable tourism. Because on the whole Danube flow, after delta of the Danube, in our part of the Danube, we have like a second big population of the biodiversity of the species of the plants and animals. So this is like something for the starters and a good basis for the development of the tourism.
Thank you. But is anybody else going to comment on the importance of nature and education? We will come to education afterwards, but nature is one of the assets for promotion and attraction to visitors and tourists.
I would like to say something as well.
Yes, please.
For us, nature education is also an important tool for protecting the nature. So, because we have a lot of school programs and we start to work with children very early to raise awareness on the topic of nature protection as well, and also to get the higher importance of the natural heritage besides the cultural heritage, because our nature is also a very important heritage, and especially in the upper part of the Danube, there's a lot of fragmentation, a lot of nature is managed, and we don't have a lot of parts where the river is still free flowing. So that's why nature education is very important for us, and also tourism, or the tourism sector, is a very important partner for raising awareness on the topic of nature protection.
Yes, this is very important, and I know that you've stepped ahead with education of youngsters in the field of protection and caring for the environment. But I've raised this question several times and asked whether there is an international aspect in this educational activities of youngsters. The success that you've accomplished could be indeed the model for other countries, could be also the model for cooperation from early age, and learning how do we live and work together. Is there anything that you could say about that? Do you have? I know that you have these camps for children and youngsters, but are these camps international, or are there the camps for Danube countries, or only for Austria?
I mean, first of all, I also want to add what is lacking. Lacking is still awareness in lots of parts on nature protection. That's why we are working on that very strongly. And concerning international exchange and international programs, there are some, but it's always funding the challenge. We have some EU-funded projects where we started this exchange. I was project manager of a project, a cross-border project with Slovakia, where we had exchange of school classes from close to Bratislava and close to our national park in Ort an der Donau. And that was a very nice exchange, and it was very useful because the border is so close to Austria, but still a lot of children never went to the other side and never visited Slovakia before. So apart from the nature aspect, it was also a very great cultural exchange. And there are some youth camps which are also international, but we are still working on that to have it more frequently. So the whole school cooperation program also is very much related on funding opportunities that we have. And when there is a call where we have opportunities to implement it, then we try to do it.
But do you think that some kind of private entrepreneur initiative could be useful for these kind of programs? Maybe somebody would opt to have the camp. And yes,
we have the national parks often don't have their own accommodation, for example. So there are cooperations with accommodation providers, with transport providers, sometimes also with guides, external guides that can support in different kind of topics. And I'm not sure if anybody's really working with tour operators. But I guess that also could be an opportunity. The main important thing is to keep the quality very high. That is something that we somehow agreed on ourselves. We have a quality management system of ISO 9001, where we also try to always have a very high quality in the educational programs, and also to work with very well-trained experts. And that would also concern, I guess, accommodation providers, that we see that everything is in very good quality for the children, and also for teachers and parents that are coming to our national parks.
Yes, but we are still then relying on, let's say, public funding and some kind of support. But I think that this topic is much more complex than we really comprehend, because without having the synergy of, let's say, public sector like national parks, then private sector, not only accommodation, but maybe somebody would opt to have like its own camping site, and then include educational institutions to work together. And maybe I'm too idealistic, and always thinking ahead, but without this kind of bringing together all these sectors and children having them and youngsters, it is very hard to expect that this cohesion will work. And that will be probably something that will give the idea to some people to start doing this. Maybe somebody in Slovenia, Uroš, what do you say about that?
Well, I see the partnership between those two sides, but I have to say that for us, okay, the nature is important. Nature, special nature of the Sava River is important because it's not only kind of beautiful place, but it's also the quality of life, and also the nature is our main asset of our tourism. And nature education is important because it teaches all generations about this nature, why it's important, and why we need to visit it and experience it in a way that we don't harm it. But I can see that let's say this public sector, public interest, let's say, can cooperate, and first of all can explain to the private business how to enjoy, how to present this nature in a way that it doesn't harm it, but actually such way of experiencing nature is actually much more enjoyable, much more meaningful for the visitors, and it can be both, let's say, business attractive and also good for nature. Maybe one of the examples of this is let's say there are some water experiences. You don't need to have some ski jets or something like this on the water to have a attractive tourist offer. You can just we have some offers where people they do exercises on the water, or they just float on the water, listen to the sound of nature, sound of water, and it can be really attractive tourism offer. But sometimes maybe somebody who wants to do business in tourism, he doesn't see all these opportunities. And if we work together, we can, on one hand, give opportunity for tourism activity and for jobs and for income, for especially also for local people, and also preserve the nature. So if the two sides listen each other, if they are open, I see the opportunity for both sides. And it is true that it's the public initiative, the private initiative is important, because it gives motivation to all these activities. But also the public interest and this interest for preserving the nature has to be included for sure. But as I said, it's not excluding each other. You can have a very nice private, tourism offer with respecting the nature protection. And here, innovative, creative nature education is in the center.
Thank you. Everybody is talking about the importance of the nature. They're talking about global warming, about the changes that we are facing from year to year, and everybody's talking about sustainability and green transition. What for you is green transition? What is the bottom line of green transition? I mean, we are using all these words that sometimes are really like only the floscule. But what is exactly green transition? Who's going to be the first?
I can say.
Okay.
At my opinion, the green transition should mean, first of all, the understanding of everything that is happening around us, especially connected to the nature, but also all the social and historical situations and the moments that we have around us. And from this understanding to finding the best practices and the ways to handle and mitigate everything that is happening, starting from the climate changes, also to this understanding of the natural resources and how everything changes. And of course, we are coming again to the education and importance of it. So this education and understanding should come on the many levels, starting from this education of the children through the programs, through the school, to some workshops, and etc. And also we can speak about the education of the actors and also stakeholders in the tourism, but also future or all the tourists as guests. So this has to be this education of on the many levels.
Yes, correct. And you mentioned future. Green future. How do you imagine green future? Can somebody comment on this? Steffi.
I tried. That's a really, really tough question. Green future.
Cloudy, so
I imagine in my dreams, I would really imagine that we have raised a lot of awareness already on the topic and on the importance of nature, and that there's more room left for nature, so that everybody somehow has an understanding that nature should develop itself, that we have to protect it so that we can also experience it, because at one point a lot of nature will be left or will not be left anymore, and the nature, also the connection between human and nature, that would also be some kind of dream that would be great in the future, that the people understand that they are also somehow connected with nature, and that it is important to protect it somehow, and that we have a lot more opportunities to work in the field of education, environmental education, and also that sustainable tourism would be much more popular, that also tourists would be open to spend more money on sustainable tourism products, and also that the infrastructure of public transport would be somehow built much better, that it is much easier to travel with the public transport to the different sites. So I think there are so many opportunities, and I hope that in the future they can be recognized and somehow also used.
Yeah. Uroš.
I am maybe even more idealistic as you. But
and romantic.
Yes, definitely sounds.
Yeah. Okay.
I see this, let's say, green future or transition is to the transition to situation where we will take nature as let's say our partner, as something for coexistence with it, and that we will just, let's say, present it as our living space, and also as a partner in what we do. For example, we want, for example, as a part of this sustainable tourism, we want also to offer local food, but organically produced. And in this element, nature is actually our partner, and we want to present the food we are offering as something that it was done in the partnership with nature, or helped the nature, which is actually good for nature preservation, but also good for us as physical creatures. And yes, I think that we shouldn't just think too much what we can artificially create, but also just something that we can do together with the nature, and I don't know, to experience it, to produce food, and to travel in a way that we enjoy the nature, not that we are distant from the nature. So let's say biking and other types of sustainable mobilities are the best. And I don't know. Yeah, as I said, I'm I'm a little bit idealistic and romantic.
But that's great. You have to be idealistic, romantic, and passionate about your tourism product, about your imagination, about your future, about your green future, because we should definitely all work together in diverting tourists from these tourism hubs to maybe less known parts. Okay, we are today speaking of the Danube, so to less known parts of the Danube. And Danube is so rich in everything. You have diverse nature examples. You have cultural heritage along the river. You have festivals. You have, of course, food and wine trails, and you have cycling routes. And as Steffi mentioned, let's work on having let's work on having public transportation more used in the future in order to save the nature from distractions of modern life. But on the other hand, we also need to raise the regional awareness of the Danube. It is great that each of us along the river create the destination awareness. But what is the awareness of the destination Danube? How do we synergize everything that Danube has nature-wise? Because people come to the upper part, or even they come to midstream Danube, but lower part, which is spectacular, is somehow left somewhere behind. And it has so much to offer. Okay, it is the question of infrastructure. It is the question of the level of development. But still, it is important if we do something together. What would be your idea? We were talking, sorry for jumping from one spot to another, but we are talking about Danube brand in general, but nature could be also this kind of the string that can brand Danube, including, of course, all other assets that we have. So how would you proceed with this? How would you try to get these all together? How do we make Danube Nature brand? Can anybody comment on this?
Maybe this time I start, because
Yeah.
we worked on the brand Nationalparks Austria. We're doing this also since about 10 years, and we have these joint communication activities, which you also have in Danube Competence Center. But I think what was really good that we did was we put much more synergies together. We had one really or a lot of big projects now only on communication topics, where we really worked with marketing agencies and tried to find a common voice. And then we put all our financial synergies also together to get a wider reach, and also to can afford a wider reach, like on at that time it was still television. So, but now there are a lot of other communication channels that can be used, and I think to start this process to work somehow on a joint message that you want to bring to the people might help, because I was lucky to visit most of the protected areas along the Danube, and there is so much great nature to see, which especially from visitors from the upper Danube maybe are not used to, because it's so different, and it's so also much easier to see like important species in Austria. A lot of times when you are in the protected area, you don't see like the main important species that are known in this protected area. But if you are in, for example, Kopacki or also Gornje Podunavlje, they have so much to offer that I guess can be communicated much more, and maybe in a common voice or message.
Yes, glad to hear that, because we really need somehow to create a joint message to potential visitors. What do we have, what we are offering, and what we would like to have all the people living there to do in order to preserve the nature, to preserve the environment, and to have people coming and visiting. So great to hear that, but we should definitely try to get some kind of let's say, funding to create a project which will tackle only this issue. How do we grant nature, Danny? Sometimes sometimes it happens that we have to confront different challenges about our destination. There are projects that are overlapping, and everybody is fighting for its own position in this process. Just recently, I was able to hear that somebody is promoting through the project, promoting the Danube, comparing it to the Amazon. And they are saying Amazon of the Danube. I'm strongly against that, because if we want to position Danube brand, we don't need to compare the Danube with the Amazon. Let Amazon promote themselves, and we should promote the Danube. I don't know, do you agree with me or not?
Well, I agree, because when you were talking, I wanted to say that I think the Danube is really what is attractive and wonderful about Danube is that it's such a mosaic, such a diversity of different landscape, different also cultural heritage connected with all this. Me as coming from Sava River area, which looks more like Alps than maybe the lower part of Danube basin. It's really fantastic that we are part of one area, one joint area, but we are so different. And when I explain to people why we are part of this Danube, let's say, network, and they only then they fully understand they are part of something that ends with Black Sea, and they feel appreciate much more also our part of Danube basin, and they see. We tell them, okay, if you throw something in Sava River, it will come all the way to Black Sea. And on the other hand, they want to visit other parts because they are part of one network, but so different. And I think this big diversity is something that it's unique. And
yes,
and I think
we don't need to compare with the Amazon.
Yes, I mean Amazon is definitely wonderful, but we would lose something of our attractiveness, because sometimes then you want to maybe subconsciously adjust your presentation of this area because you want to fit to this promotional model, but we have to use and present our uniqueness, going from Alps, which is they are close to the highest peak of Slovenia, Triglav, and all the way to the Black Sea, and this is something it's really
thank you,
wonderful.
Uroš. I cannot agree more, believe me, because Amazon's is impressive, and Mekong is impressive, and Nile is impressive, and so on and so forth. But I didn't experience that any of them were comparing themselves with the Danube, because they cannot compare with the Danube. And because Danube is really unique and brings together so much of the layered history and the remnants and heritage from prehistoric times up to modern era. So we should really think about that all the time and see what would be these channels of communication to deliver this message to the world and invite people to come and visit us, making sure that environment remains protected. And this is something what is of utmost importance, especially for the river cross-padding Europe. I mean, 10 countries plus 4 countries which are through tributaries related to the Danube. This is something where other rivers don't have it. Maybe the only one which has more international countries is the Nile. The others are not. So anyway, do you have how do you really want to deliver this message to the public about your work for the nature, for the education, for the destination, and for cooperation? I'm too much, but okay. I just want to trigger the thinking and creativity. Who's going to be the first? What will be the message to youth, to the public in general?
So maybe I start again. This is something that we are always working on. We are always trying to find messages that can reach a lot of different target groups. We also tried or still trying to reach the general public with one marketing slogan since many years, which is nothing touches us more than the untouched, the not touched nature or the free nature. But we are now trying to find new messages also for the younger target groups, and also maybe a little bit more for the international target group. So this is a process where we are always learning, and the whole communication sector always changes. There are always new channels, and we are really trying to somehow keep up the newest developments. But it's a very interesting topic, and it almost never ends. For the Danube, I would really say that everything that we discussed before already, it's especially nature along the Danube is so unexpected, because in the upper part, you often have the Alps in mind, or you have a lot of cultural assets in mind. But then when you come to the lower part and you have the free-flowing Danube, and the nature is completely different there, and also the tourist offers are, as Uroš mentioned before, with the canoe tours, there are so many unexpected things there which you can experience. And I think this is a message for the Danube region that that never gets old.
It's all unexpected experience.
Yes.
Thank you. And Zdenka, do you have any message?
Yeah, I agree with the colleagues, but also can say that it is important to have as biggest visibility as is possible, and it's very important to have the projects like Danube Guides project that we are involved, and also these international projects connected to the Danube, which are underlining importance and cooperation and this diversity along the Danube. Also some tours, and also the cooperation with the national tourist agencies, organizations, and also institutions can be important, and also very good for the visibility and the enhancing of the awareness of the public about all this biodiversity, all this richness of the Danube as a river. We mentioned European Amazon, and this is the second name for the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, Mura-Drava Danube. And this Amazon in that line is again underlining this fact that in this UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, the Danube is free, and that you have lots of wetlands and also original and diverse local communities. So this is like something that connects this part of the Danube with the Amazon. And of course, Amazon is something that everybody knows what it means and symbolized. And I think this is not that bad good of the promotion, because it's intriguing for the people, and usually it starts the conversation about this topic.
Okay. And Uroš, do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, well, I see this cooperation, and also this cooperation among Danube Guides and among cooperation among activities of Danube Guides is in teaching people about good ways how to do things in life. For example, how to visit nature, how to do tourism activities in the nature, how to not only to be consumer like of mass consumer, but how to learn about culture, heritage, about culture, how to be in cooperation or in the nature, how to be creative part of the culture, and how to during also these activities which we have tourist activities, also how to learn about about meaning of food, how food is produced, that food is reflection of the culture of the area which you visit, and through all these activities, learning about food, how it produces, about contact with nature, about importance of and beautiness of being creative. I think in all this way, these activities are also a big learning opportunity, how we can become better, how we can become really, let's say, green, and it can help us to preserve everything that we have, and to live better life with less harmful impact for the nature. So I see our cooperation in the Danube region as one big green classroom, and something which is maybe it looks more simple, less technologically high-tech advanced, but actually it's better for people, for us, and for the nature. And I hope, as Stephanie said about these new ways of communicating, I'm very old-fashioned, but I hope that this Danube is a space where we will stop a little bit, not to rush as we do in our everyday life, and learn something about ourselves and nature.
Uroš, you just said a great message. Let's make a green classroom of the Danube. Do you agree with this, ladies?
Definitely. Also, I think that this green classroom, again, it's very important because it brings also the emotion, and the emotion is something that is so important in the tourism and the promotion, and definitely it connects everything in a very good idea and initiative.
Steffi.
Yeah, I fully agree, and especially the whole knowledge exchange and meeting people, visiting the protected areas, that also is something that never gets old. That's also something that's really important, that also gives motivation to continue to work. You have the opportunity to learn from each other, and also to address challenges together. So I think also in Nationalparks network, we were some kind of like a family through all different kinds of cultures. So I think to continue to work in this green classroom and further shape this green classroom is a very good idea. And also, I don't know what is planned with the Danube Guides project, but also this is some kind of a brand, and it also stands for quality tourism offer, and for a quality nature experience if you are in nature with the Danube Guide. So I guess this is something that's really important to continue to work on. And also in the side of communication, we have the national park rangers in Austria, and they are also helping us a lot with the communication, because they are with the visitors, they are outside, they know the protected areas better than almost anybody else. So what we also do is to have communication campaigns with the rangers as well. So yeah, but I like the green classroom a lot.
Green classroom. But you know what? When you talk about the Danube to overseas potential visitors, they associate the Danube with Blue Danube. Okay, Danube is blue, but we should build up a green classroom on Blue Danube. So that could be the invitation for visitors to come and we could, of course, broaden up this message, Blue Danube and Green Classroom, with everything else that Danube offers, such as food, wines, activity, culture, festivals, and name it. So I think that Green Classroom built on Blue Danube is the message of this conversation. If you would like to add something else, I would be pleased to hear this. If not, I would like to thank you for your participation and wish to see you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you for invitation, and thank you for this exchange of views and opinion about Danube. It's always great to hear also this diversity of opinions.
Yes.
Thank you, Gordana, and thank you to my colleagues. It was very interesting to have this exchange, and I hope to see you soon in one of the protected areas along the Danube. If you ever come to Ort or Vienna, please contact me. I would be happy to show you around.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Zdenka.
Thank you, Gordana, and thank you, my colleagues. And I think that, again, we proved that the Danube is a river that connects, definitely.
Connects us all. Yes. Thank you. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.